John Willing here with Jim Bagnall, Kelly Egan, breaking down the bombshell news this week on the LeBreton Flats project. Eugene Melnyk suing John Ruddy over the redevelopment. Jim, what was the one thing that stood out for you in the lawsuit?
Well, the fact that he launched it was to me the most interesting bit, because what does he hope to gain from this? Like, what is his end game here? Because obviously the relationship between him and Ruddy is dead. That relationship isn't going to work anymore. So I can only assume that what he's trying to do here is enable a situation where he can go into the project with another partner. And so at this point, the Prime Minister's office is going to be engaged on this file. So I assume that what is happening is that the NHL is also getting involved here, and that between these players, they're trying to organize basically a situation where Ruddy is kicked out.
Kelly, what do just common folks hope to see out of the NCC, the city, and Rendezvous?
Well, I think they want to see some progress on this file. It's been really a dismal week. It looks like the whole thing has gone into the ditch. We have waited 4 years for some kind of action out of this current plan from the NCC. It looks like it has failed spectacularly. We have an owner who's taken a flamethrower to his partners. It's hard to imagine that this can be rescued at this point. And I mean, I think people are afraid that we're just back to square one, that after all this time, we're just nowhere on getting the arena downtown. In the spring, we're going to have 2 brand new LRT stations opening, and we're going to have 50 acres of tumbleweed when you come out the door. So, I mean, as someone who grew up here and who lives here, it's just really discouraging that we just can't seem to get our act together on this file.
2 things I'm really interested in is Eugene Melnyk's relationship going forward with City Hall and Jim Watson. Recall that Melnyk wanted a casino out at the Canadian Tire Centre. Instead, the city went with the Rideau Carleton Raceway, having the slots and gaming out there. And of course, Melnyk wanted to have an MLS soccer team years ago, but the city went with Lansdowne Park instead. So I'm sure for Melnyk, this is strike 3 in his business attempts with the city of Ottawa.
You do get that sense in the lawsuit, John and Jim, that Melnyk feels like the city is against him, that there are important people who pull levers of power who are just opposed to him and just are going to frustrate his ambitions. And if that's the case, then it's really hard to know how we move forward here.
Well, except that Melnyk does have the one asset that's going to make this project go, and that is the ownership of the team and the rink. Without him, Rendezvous LeBreton doesn't have, or LeBreton Flats doesn't have a centerpiece. I know that the second place bidder did have an arena in their plans, but that was for much further out. But there was still an arena in it. And the NHL, again, to go back to them, they're very determined to have NHL arenas in downtowns throughout the league network. And I don't think they're prepared to abandon Melnyk, so I think Melnyk's going to be here whether the city likes it or not.
So lots of interesting developments on the LeBreton file. Stay tuned to OttawaCitizen.com and OttawaSun.com for all your updates on this hot file at the NCC.